fam. Thank you guys for tuning in. Got a good show for you today. Going to be talking about 5 QB stashes to stash in your Superflex leagues, Dynasty Superflex leagues. Like, right, these are not redraft stashes. So we're going to be giving you 5 players, and pretty much all these guys are under 50% rostered on sleeper leagues. So it's gonna be ugly, guys. Not gonna be pretty, but these guys I think have a decent chance of getting a shot to get on the field in 2023. Last season, guys, this is basically the main point, but last season there were 64 different QBs to start in the NFL last year, either due to injuries or simply just teams moving on from players, seeing what they got on that bench. So starting off, guys, with player number 5, it's going to be a name that we've heard many times, and it's going to be Carson Wentz, only 16% rostered. And pretty much, guys, I mean, he's still working out. It said he was in Tampa Bay, right, doing some stuff with Gruden, right, some game film. He's been still practicing, right. You see him like working in different team gear and stuff like that. So Carson Wentz right now possibly gets a shot if something were to happen in this league. Like I said, last season, 64 different QBs got to start in the NFL. So Carson Wentz right there on your waiver. I think he has decent upside, right? Because pretty much if you're like a rebuilding team, and if I'm a rebuilding team, guys, in Dynasty, I want running backs or possibly some QBs that could start. Because once these QBs get a starting position, right, you can trade them to players, to teams that are maybe contending that lose a QB, right? If you have a starting QB in Superflex, it's definitely valuable. And I'm looking to move those players for picks. So running backs and QBs that are out there that have some potential, these are the guys that I'm trying to roster on my rebuilding teams. So Carson Wentz, possibly, if something happens, a team could come calling for his services. So going into my number 4, guys, blast from the past. A lot of people like this player 2 years ago, pretty much flopped, right? But we knew he was a raw project coming in. Comes in, doesn't do good, but he's had a good camp and preseason, and he's moving up for me. Definitely moved up his depth chart as well. And at number 4, guys, we have Malik Willis, 48% rostered. So we all liked Malik Willis, guys, at the combine. We fell in love with him, right? He was a good story, even good guy, right? Doing nice things for people. So definitely rooting for Malik Willis right now. 48% rostered on sleeper leagues. And last year, guys, it was a disappointing year, right? He didn't do good, looked very bad in preseason. And then now, I mean, he showed some signs, but didn't look that good. Then the Titans draft another QB, right, in Will Levis in the second round, I believe, and pretty much moves Malik Willis to 3rd on the depth chart. But as this camp has been going on and as preseason has gone on, he's shown big improvements, right? And even Vrabel said, right, he's impressed at the improvements that Malik had made. I think even something to the extent of he wouldn't have drafted another QB if he had known this, something like that. Don't quote me on it. But either way, Malik Willis now is the QB2 on the depth chart, so jumps Will Levis. So he's shown some good promise, guys. He keeps working, keeps on getting better. So he's shown some big improvements, like we said, right? So jumps Will Levis on the depth chart. He's got that rushing upside that we all love. And guys, the Titans are moving on from Tannehill after this season. This is pretty much Tannehill's last chance and the Tennessee Titans. So if he's not performing well, guys, I don't see why they don't take a shot and put Malik Willis in there, see what they got in Malik, see if he's continued to improve, and see if maybe he is something that they can build with in the future. And if not, they'll just move on from him too. So I think Malik Willis is someone to definitely be watching on your waiver wire. If there's anything with Ryan Tannehill, right? Well, they even tried to trade Tannehill, right? So I definitely would be keeping an eye on Malik Willis. These are guys that maybe you want to roster one of them, but I would definitely be keeping an eye on that situation on their teams. And if those starting QBs are disappointing, guys, definitely scoop these players up. So now coming in at number 3, this player pretty much starts like every year, right? A few games, and he does decent, right? He's always even a decent fantasy option for us. So we have Taylor Heinicke, 36%, and he is on the Atlanta Falcons, guys. So really, Desmond Ridder, guys, this is not really a knock on Desmond Ridder, but he has been inconsistent, right? Some accuracy issues in camp. If you've seen some of the highlights, you have there's Kyle Pitts like spinning around, right, making awesome grabs or dropping the ball, but really they're tough catches. It should be like easy throws, but they're just off, right? The timing's off, the accuracy seems a little bit off. So we'll see. It's hard to judge, right? You can't judge off of practice, but definitely Desmond Ridder is someone just to keep an eye out for this season. If he's struggling, right, with any of the accuracy, that timing, right, he's only a third-round pick, guys. So if he's not performing well, if he's not getting the job done, very easily the Atlanta Falcons could go in and put Taylor Heinicke out there. Even if like receivers or Kyle Pitts, right, if some of these guys start getting a little frustrated with the accuracy issues, and fans start, complaining, I think that we could see possibly Taylor Heinicke if this doesn't work out for Desmond Ridder early on. So something to look at, right? Desmond Ridder is unproven, right? So maybe they go with that veteran Taylor Heinicke if Desmond Ridder is having some issues. He had the preseason game, guys. He went 7-9, only 9 passes, guys, and he threw 1 interception, right? So definitely something to monitor for Desmond Ridder and this Atlanta Falcons team. So before we go into number 2, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. If you are like to play Dynasty Fantasy Football, be sure to like and subscribe and join the fam. So now we're going to move in, give you guys my number 2 and my number 1 player. So my number 2 quarterback, only 22% rostered. I think this guy is somebody to definitely keep an eye on your waiver wire, but it is Matt Corral, guys. So last season, guys, well, this season, Matt Corral was waived by Carolina, right, as they bring in Bryce Young. So definitely don't have any need really for Matt Corral. He signs with the New England Patriots, guys. And the Patriots, guys, have shown that they're definitely fine moving on from Mac Jones. Last season, we saw Bailey Zappi get in there and get a shot, right, to show what he can do. It did not look good for Mac Jones last season, right? We know, too, that they do like these mobile quarterbacks. We saw Cam Newton get in there. They drafted Malik Cunningham. So I think that it's a chance that Matt Corral could get in there, guys. We know there was some drama, too, if you were following last season with Mac Jones and the coaching staff. Some trust issues, right? Mac Jones even going outside to his college coaches, asking what's going on and asking questions about what they thought about just the coaching decisions and some of the things that they're making him do. So there was definitely some drama between Belichick and Mac Jones last season. So definitely something to monitor, guys. I don't see, if something's going south, right, or there's some more arguments, anything like that, Mac Jones is not playing well, definitely could see Matt Corral going in there, guys. And also to start, they have Juju's been dealing with some knee issues as well as Tyquan Thornton. So he may be out or have his starting receivers are not at 100%. So Mac Jones has a tough start, guys, for a QB, right? He's got the Eagles, the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Cowboys. So that's definitely a tough start in your first 4 games for Mac Jones. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on it and keep an eye on Matt Corral, right? If I see that slow start from Mac Jones, I'm definitely going to be scooping up Matt Corral like week 3 or 4. So keep an eye on Matt Corral in your Superflex drafts. So coming in at number 1 right now, I have the wrong name on here. Let me switch it real quick, guys. But if you guys have been tuning in, a lot of people like Josh Dobbs. I know Josh Dobbs, you could probably put him on here, but we're going with the Cardinals, right? The Cardinals, basically the Cardinals QB. And I got Clayton Tune, guys. We'll see who's going to be the starting QB, right? It could be Josh Dobbs. It could be Clayton Tune, guys. But if I'm talking about on my roster, who I want to roster for my team, it's going to be Clayton Tune. And simply because, guys, you can put him on your taxi, right? Josh Dobbs, 28 years old, been in the league a few years. You're not going to be able to put Josh Dobbs on your taxi squad, but Clayton Tune, you could stash him on your taxi squad, see what happens, right? So Kyler got injured, guys, tore the ACL in December, right? You're going to start on the pup, not coming back till week 5, if even, guys, if he comes back. Kyler's a mobile QB, man. So that ACL tear definitely going to hinder him a little bit. We'll see, guys, what the rosters or what their record will look like when Kyler Murray's kind of getting back to 100%. But I think, guys, Josh Dobbs, we already know what he is, guys. He's on the roster. He's been in the league a while, guys. He played 2 games last season. He doesn't have too much experience. Played 2 games last season in Tennessee. Did not do well. It was like 40 for 68, I believe. Threw 2 interceptions in 2 games. So I think we know what Josh Dobbs is at this point, guys. And even if he gets maybe the veteran nod and they let him start, I think it'll be short-lived, and I think we'll see Clayton Tune in there pretty soon, or sooner rather than later. So definitely Clayton Tune is the person that I would rather roster. They actually both have the same roster percentage, both at 42%. But I'm going to be taking a stab at Clayton Tune, guys. He's shown some decent, I mean, he's been decent in preseason, right? So I'm going to stash Clayton Tune and see what happens, guys. If see how this plays out. But I think Clayton Tune is someone that definitely you should be stashing on your taxi squad if you have him, and see what happens, because it's possible that Kyler Murray even sits out for a long time, guys, even the whole season, right? If they pretty much have their new pick, right? They have their first round pick. They have 2 first round picks, I think, actually in 2024 that are going to be pretty good. So it might be the tank year for Arizona, and Clayton Tune may be leading the ship for a while on that tank job. So those are my QBs, guys. Like I said, thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to check out some of our other videos, and thanks for supporting the fam.